A very good morning, students. Welcome back to this online bridge course on Microsoft Excel. In our previous video, we started the conditional formatting in Excel. We said conditional formatting is nothing but uh, from Excel document, whatever cells we are having, from those cells, we are highlighting few cells based on our criterion. Okay. So that criterion, it can be anything. Selecting the greater value, lowest value, equal value, okay, values between the specified range, okay, top 5, bottom 5, like that. We have applied different conditional formatting rules on a Excel document or on a Excel sheet. So basically in an Excel sheet, we are going to have the data in cells only, inside the cells only. So whatever formatting rules we are applying, we have to apply onto the cells only. Okay. So many different types of formatting rules, many different types of data representations we have seen in our last session. So highlighting cells rules, then we discussed top or bottom rules, then we discussed data bars, okay, then we discussed color schemes, different color schemes, how we can apply, and we have also seen the icon setting, and I think there only we stop. Okay, with that icon setting option we stopped. So if we have a quick overview on the concepts what we discussed, so this is yeah, first we discussed the definition of conditional formatting, then highlight cells rules we discussed, then top bottom, yeah, highlight cells rules is nothing but first of all we have to make a fixed value decision, and based on that value only, either the cells which are having greater value than the fixed value, lesser value than the fixed value, okay, or even you can have a range. Okay, if you have a range, the values which fall between that range, that also you can select, or you, if equal to the fixed value, those type of values also we can select. So basically conditional formatting, what it will do, whatever values are satisfying our criterion, whatever values are satisfying our criterion, it will simply highlight, MS Excel will simply highlight those cells by giving some specific color. That specific color selection, again, it is user dependent. You as a user, you can select any type of color to highlight your cells, okay, which fall under your criterion. So highlight cells rules, we said greater than a value, less than a value, between a range of values, or equal to a specific value. These things we discussed. Okay. So then is top bottom rules. Yeah, we can select top 10, top 5 of the list of values, bottom 10, bottom 5 of the listed values, average, above average, below average, whatever average it will give, above that average or below that average values. All such type of selections we can do using these top bottom rules. First one, highlight cell rules we discussed, then top bottom rules we discussed. I have shown everything practically in my last session. How we are doing all these things we have seen practically in our last session. Okay. So the next thing is clearing the rules. So we said if we are applying more than one rule on the same set of data, on the same list of data, sometimes it will become clumsy. Sometimes it will become ambiguous to understand. So generally what we do, whenever we are applying a type of formulae, a type of conditional formatting on a set of data, so before applying the second conditional formatting, let's try to remove the previously existing conditional formatting, and that how we do means with the help of clear rules. Clear rules to clear a conditional formatting rule on a set of values. Whatever conditional formatting you are applying, if you think that it is no more required, simply what we do by using this clear rules option, we will remove that conditional formatting. This also we have seen. Then conditional formatting with formulae. So we can even apply whatever predefined formulas, predefined things we have. You think those things are not sufficient, you can create your own formulas by using this conditional formatting with formulas option. So there we have seen in a list of values, in a set of values, how we can do the selection of odd numbers, how we can do the selection of even numbers by using this is odd, is even functions. Is odd, is even functions in MS Excel, what they will do generally, they will check whether a specified value is even or odd. By simply making use of these two is even, is odd functions, we are applying conditional formatting on a set of values and selecting even numbers and odd numbers selectively. Okay, this also we have seen in our previous example, previous session. Okay, with example I have explained this thing. So then we discussed managing the rules. So once a conditional formatting rule is employed, once the conditional formatting rule is applied, so at some point you feel that there must be something need to be changed in that conditional formatting rules. So instead of removing that rule and adding a new rule, what we can do, we can edit that rule by simply using this manage rule option, manage rules option. So go to that conditional formatting, there will be an option manage rules. So before selecting that option, just try to select the cells on which you have applied the rules, conditional formatting rules. First you select that list, then go to conditional formatting, then manage rules. Over there it will list all the conditional formattings whatever you have applied on that selected data. So accordingly you can do the modifications, accordingly you can do the editing on those conditional formatting rules, changing the color, reapplying the formulae, changing the ranges, changing the fixed value, all those things you can do from there. Okay, so basically manage rules, how it is helpful means, so if you have applied 2-3 conditional formatting rules and you think only one rule has to be deleted, because clear rules, it will clear all the conditional formattings whatever you have applied on a set of values, isn't it? Clear rules, what it will do, it will clear all the conditional formatting rules. But if you think, okay, out of 3 conditional formatting rules, if you want to delete only one, that you have to do only with the help of manage rules option. You have to go to manage rules and you have to delete your concerned formatting rule from that list. Because basically if you have applied 3 means it will list 3 rules, 3 conditional formatting rules over there. So from that, the one which you don't want, simply delete it. Okay, so because applying clear rules will clear all the formatting, all 3 formattings that we don't want. We want only one to be deleted. That with the help of this manage rules we can achieve. So editing is one part, deletion is another part, and using that same manage rules window, you can even create new rules. You can even create new rules. Creating, editing, deleting, 3 things you can do with the help of this manage rules window. Okay, so basically that window we call it as conditional formatting rules manager. Conditional formatting rules manager. So clicking on that manage rules option will open that conditional formatting rules manager for you. Hope you understood this one. So then we have data bars. We have seen, in every cell, we are representing the contained data, whatever that particular cell is containing. That contained data with the help of bar we are representing. How we are representing? With the help of data bars. So bar is something like an it is something like a pillar. It is something like a stack kind of thing which we use in your bar graphs. Generally we use this hologram kind of things in your bar graphs. The same thing we use inside a cell to represent the contents of that cell, what it contains, how much value it contains. Whether it is smaller value, then your bar will be smaller. If it is bigger value, then your bar will be bigger. Not only positive but also negative values we can represent with the help of data bars. So data bars in Excel make it very easy to visualize values in a range of cells. So by seeing that bar graphs only, by seeing that data bars only, one can say how much value a particular cell is containing, whether it is containing a big value or a small value. Sometimes specification is not necessary. What exact value a particular cell is containing, it is not necessary. Sometimes having an overview is enough. That overview kind of thing, whether my company is performing in a progressive way or it is going in loss, that how come not, yeah, in order to estimate whether my company is performing progressively or it is going in a loss, it is not necessary to have the specific value, isn't it? It is not necessary to have the specific value, because specific values may change. So now my company is running under 5% profit, let us assume. So by the time I will come to know that 5% profit, what will happen? The profit may change. It may go 5.5 or it may go 4.5. Like that. The values, specific values, not at all required. So just the bar graphs, just the assumptions, those are enough. So simply by seeing that bar graph, simply by seeing that data bar, I can estimate that my company is running in profit. So that's enough for me. How much profit it is running? Of course, the cells contain, the cells data will reveal that one. How much exact profit my company is currently running. Okay. So if I'm not concerned about the specific values, then I have to go with this data bars. Simply by seeing the data bar, I can estimate that this much profit I'm gaining. On these products, I'm gaining this much of profit. Or on these products, I'm gaining this much of loss. Okay. So data bars, in that way it is yeah, the second point, if you read, a longer bar represents a higher value. So yeah, if you are having a longer bar, it indicates the higher value in that data bar representation. The smaller bar, smaller value, longer bar, larger value. So next we discussed color scaling, color scales. So it is just to show the intensity of the value. Okay, the shorter value will have the danger bells, the shorter value will have the less intensity, but whereas higher values are going to have some higher level of intensity, positive intensity. Okay, so relaxing value we can say. So the smaller values, always your Excel will give danger bells on that one. Danger bells in the sense, if you selected that pattern, accordingly it will show you the red color. 0 with the dark red, some like 9, 10, it will give some light red. Then the color will go lighter and lighter, yeah, until it reaches the green. So light green, then somewhat more dark green and darker green. Likewise, it will give to the highest value. Smallest value, it will show with red, and highest value it will show with green, because highest values, larger values, they are always acceptable, and smaller values, 0 values, they are I mean what we call danger bells. So if your company is going in a positive way, then it will show the profit in green. Always it will show the profit in green. But if your same company is going in loss, then it will show in red colors. Okay, that thing you have to remember. So color scaling means simply giving different colors to different values in your Excel worksheet. So color scales in Excel make it very easy to visualize values in a range of cells. So where exactly I am having loss, so I need not to check the product. I need not to check the product specification, how much sale I have done, how much profit I have earned, whether it is going good or not. Simply by seeing that color, okay, in that Excel sheet, so I have to verify only the red cells, because red cells means danger bells. Red cells means negative impact. Red cells means going loss, gaining loss. So likewise, I have to verify only the red cells. If you have not given that coloring, then I have to verify each and every cell for profit and loss. But if you have given that color scaling, simply I have to worry about only the red cells. I don't have to bother about the green cells, because green cells automatically they are showing the profit. They are showing the positive direction. So in that way you can estimate your complete Excel worksheet based on this color scaling. So the next thing is icon sets. As I said, the share market, if it is going up, we show it with an up arrow. If it is going down, we show with a down arrow. If it is behaving neutral, we'll show with a right hand pointing arrow. Right hand side pointing arrow. The same rules we are applying in this icon set. So whatever data we are having inside our Excel document, if it is a good data, if it is having some huge amount of data, yani ke positive value, then we'll show with upward direction arrow. Okay, green upward direction arrow. If it is smaller data and if it is showing some loss, or if it is showing some negative aspects in my Excel document, then I will indicate with I will indicate that value with a down arrow. So we considered the example of students, isn't it? Student marks. If they are above 50, above 60 or something, then they are the positive marks, isn't it? So we have to show them with upward arrow mark, positive arrow mark. If they are below 30, below 20 something, the student is failed, isn't it? So then we have to show him with downward arrow mark. Then if the student is having average marks like 40 to 60 something, okay, near to 50 or 60, then we have to show him with a right hand side arrow mark. So neither good nor bad, average we can say. So likewise, these icon sets are helpful in visualizing the data or in representing the data inside your Excel document. Then we have this finding duplicates. So this option is inside your highlighted cells, isn't it? Highlighted cells. Here only we have that option. Highlight cells rules. Inside your highlight cells rules only we have this finding duplicates option. Simply what we have to do, select the data where you want to find the duplicates and go to that find duplicates. Okay, go to that highlight cells rules and then select this find duplicate or duplicates option. So what it will do, it will give the coloring to the redundant data. It will give the coloring to the what we call duplicate data. If you have a copy of, if you have more than one copy of a single piece of data, then what it will do, it will highlight that copies, multiple copies. It will simply highlight that multiple copies for you, for your understanding. So in that way you can remove the redundant data. Isn't it? Redundancy is a big issue in data maintenance that you are going to learn in your, I think in your 5th semester, but now I think they have changed it to 4th semester only. So there is a subject called database management system for ECE and sorry, for CSC and for IT people. Okay. So database management systems, previously in JNTU specifically, I have to mention this one, how this data management and how this data what we call representation is important means this subject was a mandatory subject. This subject was a mandatory subject in JNTU for even EEE, ECE, civil, mechanical people, database management systems. In OU, of course, right now they are collaborating and right now they are including this subject even in your what we call higher semesters, like in your 3rd year, in your final year. But for CSC they will learn it inside their 4th semester only. For AICTE curriculum we have this database management system inside your 4th semester only. So there you will learn the problems of redundancy and importance of avoiding redundancy in database management systems. So finding the duplicates, it is a similar feature to that redundancy, avoiding redundancy in database management systems, because your Excel sheet, when we are maintaining the data, it is also an example of database. Isn't it? Isn't it? It is also an example of database. We can call it as a database. So having duplicate values inside the database, it is a problematic stuff. It is a problematic thing. So to avoid that redundancy, what we do, we apply this find duplicate feature. Find duplicate feature. What it will do, it will simply highlight the redundant cells for you. It will highlight the redundant cells for you. So based on that highlighting, we will select the redundant cell and we will delete that redundant cell. So in that sense, we can make our database, we can make our Excel document duplicate free. Duplicate free. So yeah, we did this one in our previous session only. I have shown you how we can find the duplicates. It is simply Go to conditional formatting, then highlight cell rules, and in that you have this duplicate, find duplicates option. Simply you have to select that find duplicates option. It will automatically highlight all the cells, all the duplicate cells for you, and do the deletion of redundant cells from there itself. Hopefully you understood that one. So the next thing is shading alternate rows. It will not give any kind of calculation, or it will not give any kind of manipulation for you. It will simply a kind of representation with which the user or the reader will feel easy to read that Excel document. Because if you put all the cells in same color, all the cells without any color, okay, if you put all the cells without any color, the data will look like a clumsy stuff. The data will look like a problematic stuff to the reader. He will, yeah, because he will find difficulty in analyzing the rows and columns if you put the entire data on a single sheet on a same color. So to avoid that one, what we are doing, we are shading alternate rows. We are shading alternate rows so as to make the end user easy verification of data. Easy verification of data. To use this type of shade alternate rows, to make our document, to shade the alternate rows in our document, we have to use this mod function along with rows function. Mod rows 2. So what it will do, this mod function, it will select the alternate rows in each iteration. It will select the alternate rows in each iteration so that the Excel can mark that alternate row for you with a specific color. Okay, hopefully you understood this one. We practiced this one as well in our previous session. So then, comparing two lists. If you have two lists, how we can perform the comparison operation between the two lists, and how we can find the duplicates, and how we can find the what we call older values and newer values inside our two lists, that we will see in today's session. So comparing two lists, this method describes how to compare two lists using conditional formatting. Okay, so for that I will open the Excel document. So after opening the Excel document, so go to that find duplicates, after that shading rows, then comparing the lists. Here if you able to see this, I have two lists of IPL teams. Okay, two lists of IPL teams, and these are the new teams which they have, which they have participated in 2020 IPL, and these are the names of all the teams. The names of all the teams so far in IPL. So in this Gujarat Lions and this Rising Pune Super Giants and this Pune Warrior India, like these teams, they have not participated in 2020, isn't it? 2020 IPL. So these are some of the old teams, and these are the actual teams. So now, in order to find the duplicates between these two lists, this is my first list and this is my second list. So in order to find the duplicates, we have to name these two lists. We have to name these two lists. How we can do means, first name this first list as with name first list only. So select the list. Okay, simply hold here and drag, select this list, and then right click, and then here you have define name option. As you can see, the last but one option, define the name. Click on that one. So it will open the naming box for you. So here you have to give the name to this particular list. So I call this list as FIRST, first underscore list. My list name, this first list name is first list. I am giving the list name as first list. This first list name as first list. Then click on OK. So it is saying that the name is already existing, because when I practiced, I have given this one. So what we will do, we'll remove all the rules. Okay, we'll remove all the rules. Here also I will remove all the rules. Conditional formatting, clear rules, remove from selected cells. Okay, hopefully now it got removed. Then right click, define name. Okay, then first underscore list. We will see whether it will take. Yeah, it is not taking. So give some other name. So instead of first list, what I will give, uh, one underscore list, one list. Okay, I'm giving a name, one list. Click on OK. So now this is my one list, and I'm taking another second list. I will call it as two list. This is one list and this is two list. So how to give the name? First select the list elements, list of elements, then right click, click on define name. So give the name as two underscore list, two list. So now this is my one list and this is my two lists. So here we use a formula called as count if, and here I have to put, so this name as we have changed, so two underscore list. So like this we have to change because I changed the name, right? So count if two list comma A1. A1 is my first cell, first row, first column. A indicates row, first row. One indicates, A indicates column, first column. One indicates row, first row. So first row, first column. A1 indicates first cell. So whatever, as I said, whatever formatting we are applying, we have to apply on a cell, isn't it? On a cell. And in general, when we are having inside an Excel workbook, generally we apply only to the first cell, the complete formatting only to the first cell which is containing the data. First cell which is containing the data. From there, you can select, you can drag multiple cells and apply the formula only to the first cell. So what Excel will do, Excel will automatically apply that formula by using that autofill feature. Autofill feature, it will simply apply that formula to all the cells, in your selection. All the cells in your selection. Hopefully you understood. So then quickly, what we do, we go to our Excel document, and here we have this as my one list and this as my two list. Now I have to compare these two lists. Okay, I have to compare these two lists. So what I will do, just go and select yes, this range. Okay, go and select this range, then go to conditional formatting, then new rule. Conditional formatting and new rule. You click on new rule. So here what we have to do, yes, here use a formula to determine which cell to format. Use a formula to determine which cell to format. And here you put that count if formula. Count if of, from where we are comparing, from the two list. Okay, this list values we are comparing with second list. So two list comma, okay, A1, as we are writing the formula only to the first cell, that is A1. So as it is going to apply this formula to all the cells, so this formula will be applied to the first cell, the first cell as well as second cell. When it gets applied to the second cell, this A1 will automatically become A2. When it gets applied to the third cell, A1 will automatically become A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8. Likewise, this same formula, when I have selected like this same formula will be applied to all these cells, okay, based on their names. Here I am writing the formula only to A1. But it will automatically, Excel will automatically apply the same formula to all the cells with their respective cell names. This thing you have to remember. So then select the format color. I am selecting some green color over here. Fill it with green. Okay. Click on OK. So now whatever names we have in common between this what we call first one list and second list, whatever names we have in common, those will get highlighted, as you can see. Okay, so I have not applied the formula or what? Yes, maybe some mistake I have done. Yes, here when you are applying the formula, you have to put equals to 0. So simply we go to, now how to change that formula? Go to conditional formatting, manage rules. So here we have that rule. Edit this rule, come over here, equals to 0, like this, because this has to be, these two has to be equal. Okay, if they are not equal, then it will not color. If they are equal, then only it will color. Now you see. Okay, this will be applied. Yeah, again there is some error. I think I have not taken the name properly. So this is my one list and this is my two list, isn't it? Is it giving the name? Yes, two list, and this is my one list. So I have applied the conditional formatting on this one. Have I selected A1 over there? So simply remove this rule. Okay, once again I will apply, go to conditional formatting, then new rule. Here use a formula to determine which cell to format. Then here I am writing equals to count. I think we have to write capitals. Count if of, okay, my list name is two underscore list, two list comma A1, and it should be equals to 0. It should be equals to 0. Then go to format, select the color, OK. Then here click on OK. So as you can see, we have only two names in common. Sorry, not common. Yeah, here if you put 1, it will give you the common. Here if you put 1, it will give you common. Edit rules. Here you put 1, then it will give you the common ones. See, here if you put 1, then it will give you common. 1 means true. True means if both, whatever we are doing comparison here, if this list and if you have an entry in this list as well as in this list, then the comparison will succeed. So whenever we are, when we are doing the coloring, when the comparison success, okay, when we get the comparison as a success, then we are coloring. So in that case, here we have Chennai Super Kings, as you can see. Here also we have Chennai Super Kings. So we are getting color. Rajasthan Royals, here we don't have any. You can check the complete list. We don't have any Rajasthan Royals here. So we are not getting color for that one. Okay, rest of all, Sunrisers, Kolkata, Delhi, Royal Challengers, all these things we have here. That's why we are getting colors. And Mumbai Indians also we have here. So that is the reason why we are getting colors. So if you put 0 over there, manage rules. So first we have to select this one. So if you put 0 over there, manage rules, then what we are doing, what we are saying it to do, yeah, do the coloring when there is no match. Do the coloring when there is no match. 1 means do the coloring when there is a match. 1 means true. Do the coloring when there is a match. If it is true, then do the coloring when there is a match. If it is false, then 0 means false. We are saying do the coloring when there is no match. False means do the coloring when there is no match. So only Rajasthan Royals and Kings 11 Punjab, we don't have anything over here inside this second list. That's why we are getting colors to them. See, Rajasthan Royals we don't have here, and Kings 11 Punjab we don't have here. So that is the reason why we are getting colors to them. So yeah, if you say this particular formula as true, then it will do the coloring when there is a match. It will do the coloring when there is a match. So Chennai Super Kings, there is a match, so it colored. Rajasthan Royals, there is no match, so we didn't get any color. Sunrisers, we have a match. Here we have. So we got color. Kolkata Knight Riders, we have here. So we got color. So likewise, it is coloring when there is a match. If you take true case, so then it will color when there is a match. If you take false case, then it will color when there is no match. So this thing you have to remember. So this is one thing. And the other one, so whatever new teams we have, so whatever old teams, those left out from this 2020, to find out that one, so what we have to do, so just now we checked what new teams formed which are not there in the old team list. So those two are Rajasthan Royals and Kings 11 Punjab. They are not there in the old team list. They formed just now. That's why we got those two names only in the new list but not in old list. Now what we are trying, what are the teams, old teams, which have not participated in this 2020 IPL. That we are finding now. What are the team names which have not participated in 2020 IPL? How come? So then go to the second list and conditional formatting, new rule, and here you apply that rule. Okay, same thing. Here what we do, count if of one list, one underscore list, comma, that is, we have to write B1 now, not A1, B1 equals to 0. Set the color. I'm selecting some red color now. So more colors. So I don't want darker. Lighter red is enough for me. So okay. So now okay. Now you can see. So these are the teams which have not participated in the 2020 IPL. So this is my 2020 IPL list, and Gujarat Lions is not there, Pune Warriors not there, Kochi Tuskers not there, Deccan Chargers not there, Rising Pune Super Giants, they are also not there. So how we have done? Simply we did the comparison between this list and this list, between B list and A list, between two lists and one list, such a way that there should be coloring when there is no match. There should be coloring when there is no match. So what we have to do? We have to take equals to 0. If you want to color when there is a match, then take it as 1. If you want to color when there is no match, then take it as 0. So now we want to find out the teams which are not there in the second list. So what we have to do? When there is a name match or when there is no match, we have to color. So simply take it as equals to count if of first list, one list, comma B2, and if there is no match. One list, comma B2 if there is no match. One list means this entire thing. B2 means this one. If there is no match of this Gujarat Lions in this entire list, then we will get color for that one. Sunrisers Hyderabad, same thing. If there is no match in this entire list, we will get color for this one. As there is a match of Sunrisers Hyderabad here, that's why we didn't get any color. So Pune Warriors, again there is no match, so we got color. Kochi Tuskers, there is no match, so we got color. And Delhi Capitals, there is a match, so we didn't get any color. Royal Challengers, there is a match, we didn't get. Kolkata Knight Riders, there is a match, so we didn't get any color. Likewise, you have to remember this count if function, so as to make your search, or so as to make your data representation effective. Simply what it is doing, count if, it is performing the comparison between the two lists. Performing the comparison between the two lists. When there is a match, if you want to color, take equals to 1. If there is no match, you want to color, take equals to 1. So this one. Only this thing will change. So here, when we want like this equals to 0, if you want to color, if there is no match. If there is no match and if you want to color, take it as 0. And if there is a match and if you want to color, take this thing as 1. Take this same thing as 1. So we no need to change anything in the formula. Just this 0 and 1 will change. This will when there is a match. If there is a match, so if there is no match and you want to color, then select 0. If there is a match and you want to color, select 1. Hope you understood this one. So the next thing, the entire explanation goes whatever I have explained like that only. So the next thing is conflicting rules. So if you have applied more than one rule on a list of data, if you have applied more than one rule, then which rule will be applied? Okay, which rule will it show? Okay, whether it will show the old rule or will it show the new rule? Okay, is there any hierarchy? Is there anything that we will see over here now? So now go to that conflicting rules or rule conflict. So here I have this list of data. So now here I am applying two rules actually, so as to show you the difference. The first rule, what I am applying is, select this entire thing. The first rule I am applying, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, greater than rule. Okay, greater than some 80 I am saying. So only 3 values I have greater than 80, that is 81, 95, 86. Rest of all values, they are lesser than 80. So again I am applying one more formula, that is what we call top 5. Okay, so top 5 custom rule. Top 5 I'm taking. How many? 5. Top 5 means top 5 values it will show. So I'm taking a different color, because if I take the same color, again there is more complex, I mean more what we call confusing stuff will come in front of you. So first rule, whatever I have applied, it is satisfying 3 cells, 81, 95, 86. So I got those cells highlighted. So second rule, whatever I have selecting, I'm selecting, I want to pick top 5 values from this list. Top 5 values from this list, and I want to color those values with green. Those values with green. So now click on OK. Okay. So top 5 only I have selected. Yes, I think I have selected only one cell. So that's why it is not giving. So now I have removed. So once again I will come from the beginning. So clear rules, clear everything. So now all the rules got cleared. So I'm applying first rule, that is highlight cell rules greater than. I said more than 80. Greater than 80. I'm filling with the light red, fill with dark red font, dark red text. So to my conditional formatting, 3 cells are satisfying, 3 cells are falling under my criterion, so they got colors. So 81 it is more than 80, 95 it is more than 80, 86 it is also more than 80. Now I'm applying another. So just to show the conflict of conditional formattings, I'm applying another rule. Go to conditional formatting again. Then what we have to, yeah, top 5 I want to select. So apply, then top 5, then go to this coloring and green color you select. Okay, so click on OK. So now as you can see, the previous previous conditional formatting rule, it got overlapped with the newly applied rule. So previously 81, 95, 86 we got, which are greater than 80. So now if I want to see what my values which are greater than 80, I can't see. Even though I have applied the conditional formatting, I can't see, because that color it got overlapped with this green color. Because that same 81, it is falling under 2 conditional formattings. It is more than 80 as well as it is top second value, I guess. Top third value. So that's why it is falling in this range. And 95 also falling under 2 conditional rules. The first conditional rule, it is more than 80, more than 80. And it is also the top 1 value, first value. And 86 also falling under 2 conditional formatting rules. The first one, it is more than 80, and second one, it is top third. So that's why it has given green color also. So but how it is applying the coloring? How it is applying the coloring? Why can't it is applying the first rule first and then the second rule? Because your Excel will always take the recently applied rule only. It will always consider the recently applied rule. So I applied recently the top 5 rule. So that's why it is not showing that over here. Top 5 rule it is not showing. Oh, sorry, that's why it is not showing the more than 80 rule over here. Greater than 80 rule over here. So to manage these 2 conditional formattings, go to that manage rules. Okay. So click on conditional formatting and manage rules. As you can see over here, I have two rules, but even though it is showing only top 5 rule, it is not showing greater than 80 rule. So what we can do, in order to make this rule first, this rule applied first, what we do, just move this rule to up. So like this, here you can see this arrow, just move this rule to up. So as what will happen, that rule will employed, that rule will show. Okay, and yeah, they are not getting green because green is applied. In my consideration, green is applied first, then the red is applied. Okay, green is applied first and then red is applied, because I have shifted the considerations. So in this way you can shift the considerations and you can check what rule is giving what values to me. So if you want to see the values which are greater than 80, you have to make that 80 as the most recently applied rule. So how we can make that rule as most recently applied? Simply by shifting it to above, shifting it to up, and then click on apply. So now you can see more than 80, I have 3 values, 81, 95 and 86. And top 5 means it is showing only 2 here, because these 3 are overlapping with conditional formatting. So now if you want to see the top 5, what we have to do, go to the top 5 and select it to move up and then apply. So now you can see top 5. So at a time you can see only one rule. because the other rule will, if it is satisfying the same cells, if it is satisfied by the same cells, yeah, the cells will get overlapped. The cells will get overlapped by multiple rules. The cells will get overlapped by multiple rules. To see which rule is satisfying what cells individually, you have to go to manage rules window, rule manager window. Okay, rule manager window, conditional formatting rule manager window. So simply by shifting the rules up and down, you can see the satisfying cells. You can see the satisfying cells. This is another concept. So after this, conflicting rules is also over. Then we have last leftover concept, that is heat maps. So it is also the coloring of the data. So here I have the complete information. Average monthly temperature in Hyderabad in the last 10 years, I believe, from 2019 to 2010. Okay, the last 10 years, every month average temperature I have here. So to select the heat map, to apply the heat map on this one, again we have to go to color scaling option only. So where we have to go, color scaling option only. So what it will do, simply select from here to here and go to color scaling. Where is that color scaling, and select this one. See, like this, whatever acceptable temperatures we have and whatever unacceptable temperatures we have, that entire thing it is listing. If the temperature is like nearly 100, as you can see 100 Fahrenheit, it is showing over here. So this green, red color, it is indicating danger, and this green color, it is acceptable temperatures, and yellow, the average temperatures. So like this, it is showing the heat map. We call this as heat map. Just what we have to do, whatever data we have collected. So like this, we can't say which one is having, geographical representation is not, as geographical representation is not there, we can't predict which value is the, in what month we are having highest temperatures and in what month we are having lower temperatures, like that we cannot predict. But if you apply the heat map, simply select this one, go to conditional formatting, color scaling, and then apply. So now you can see here April month is having highest temperatures. In 2019, almost from January we got highest temperatures, and in October, November also we got highest temperatures likewise. Okay, and November month, okay, from 2010 to 2018, November month is the coldest month, we can say like that. So like can we do the like this, we can do the analysis. In July we have average temperatures, and in August also slightly increased temperatures. Like that we can do the prediction, like that we can do the, in January also we are having slightly increased temperatures, and here again the danger bell. In 2019 January we got the highest temperatures. Likewise, we can predict the, we can do the analysis by simply seeing the colorings, after applying like this. Yeah, once the color formatting is applied, if you think that you don't need what we call this text over here, so what we can do, select the cell, the temperature values. If you don't, you think if you don't need, simply select that once again. So from first cell to last cell, then go to, okay, then right click and go to format cells. Okay, then you will get this one. So in this one, go to custom. Okay, and in custom here, inside type, simply put 4 semicolons, I guess. Yes, 4, no, 3 semicolons only. Simply put 3 semicolons and click on OK. So what it will do, it will simply remove the values for you. Now you can, without even depending on the temperature values, you can predict the temperatures simply by seeing this heat map. We call this map as heat map, geographical heat map. So simply by seeing this heat map, you can predict. Here we have the lower temperatures, here we have the highest temperatures, here we have the average temperatures, here once again the lower temperatures. Likewise, you can predict the temperatures just by seeing the colors. So in this way, your heat maps are helpful in predicting the temperatures in a particular area or in a particular region, we can say. Hopefully you understood this concept clearly. So this is our last concept, and yeah, with this I'm going to give another assignment another assignment. I will give the assignment on this heat map as well as this rules conflict. What we have to do, you have to show me the conflicting of rules. Then comparing lists also I will give one example. So three things you have to, you just see, whenever I'm giving some exercise, I will not give, from now on I will not give the what we call screenshots or images. Simply I will give the concept. So according to the concept you have to prepare the Excel file. Suppose if I tell you to create two lists and do the comparison, so just have one list of fruits, animals, anything, city names, country names, planets, whatever you want you can take over here in A list, and in B list also you take some names, okay, and perform the comparison between those two and show me the comparison how you are applying. That's it. So that is the compare lists. Then we have rule conflict. Simply select, take some values and apply multiple rules and show me how you have how you can do that. Okay, simply what we have to do, go to manage rules and shifting up and down and applying. That's it. So next is heat map. Take the temperature, average temperature in a particular region, and apply the heat map and send that document to me. I mean, what I observed from my last assignment is many people, they are creating the assignments, many people they are doing the assignments and they are sending me the screenshots. That screenshots are of no use to me. Whether you have done it properly or not, when I will understand, only when you send the actual Excel document to me. Don't send me the screenshot, don't send me the image file, okay, which is showing the which is showing your exercise, okay, completed exercise. Don't send me that one. I need the Excel document. I need the Excel document. So once again, take some other email ID, or with that same email ID also it will accept the response. Go back to the previous assignment link, upload the Excel document. Don't send me the image files, rather upload the Excel document. See, if you send me the email, because I kept the maximum file size as 1 MB only. If you create the image, if you take the screenshots, possibility that your image will go more than 1 MB. But if you take the Excel file, it will always be less than 1 MB. So try to upload the Excel document and don't upload me the image files, screenshots of your assignment. Okay, I will not consider the screenshots or PDF files or something. I will consider only the Excel files, .excel files. Your form, Google form, it do accepts .xls as well as .xlsx files. Already I kept in your what we call assignment for case study. Under that I put this link. Okay, so go back to there and upload the document, upload the concerned document, so that you will get the attendance. And many students, they are watching my videos but they are not doing the subscription, they are not asking any doubts in the comment section. I suggest you to ask the doubts in the comment section, as well as to my WhatsApp also, to my WhatsApp personal also you can post. So do ask queries, do clarify your doubts, do complete the assignments on time, and do post the attendance. Because once you complete the assignment, then only you will get the attendance. Otherwise you will not get any attendance. Hopefully you understood this. And as your HOD has suggested in the group, very soon they are going to divide the students based on their branches, and once that division has been done, means they will start tallying your attendance. And this tallying of the attendance will be done from the very beginning, from the first class onwards. So if you want to get the attendance, just go back to, because still the video links, still the what we call attendance sheets, still the assignment links, everything is open. You can go back there, you can watch the video, you can complete the assignment, and you can post the assignment so that your attendance will be considered. Hopefully you understood this one. So in every video, after every video, we are giving a simple assignment that you have to complete. So the completing the assignment indicates that you are following the concepts, whatever we are teaching over here, whatever we are training over here. And this instructions, whatever I am giving over here, this is irrespective to the branch of study. sir, I belongs to CSE, I belongs to civil, I belongs to IT, I belongs to EC, don't come with such things to me. So this is branch irrespective to the branch. So all branch people, it is a mandatory thing that they have to attend this interim bridge courses. Whatever bridge courses we are offering from the college, for you have to attend these bridge courses and you have to satisfy all the requirements. Hopefully you understood the importance of these bridge courses, importance of studying all these things. And one more important instruction over here is do subscribe to faculty channels. So then only you will get the updated what we call video references, video alerts. Because sometimes what will happen means, if the faculties are busy, they will simply post the video in their channel and they will not send any message in the group. So if you have subscribed means, once the faculty will post the video inside the channel, automatically you will get an alert message. Automatically you will get an alert message on your mobile, so that it will become very easy for you to attend that what we call a lecture. Hopefully you understood that importance as well. Okay. So rest of the concepts we'll discuss in our upcoming classes. Hopefully. Thank you very much, students,